Imagine your body as a well-trained defense system, an intricate network of cells, vessels, and organs working together, 24/7 to protect you from illness. This system is powerful, but it is also highly sensitive to what you feed it. The truth is, your diet can either be your strongest ally or your silent saboteur. Today, I want to share how the right foods can help your body not just survive, but thrive by defending against disease at the root level. First, consider that every bite you take sends a signal to your body. Some foods switch on your body's natural defense systems, blood vessel growth, tissue regeneration, immune function, while others switch them off. When we choose foods rich in bioactive compounds, like those found in colorful fruits, vegetables, legumes, and certain seafood, we give our body the tools to repair itself before disease takes hold. But then food isn't just fuel, it's information. The right nutrients can lower inflammation, starve harmful cells, and encourage beneficial microbes in your gut to flourish. This creates a ripple effect influencing everything from your brain health to your cardiovascular system. Your diet can quietly tip the balance away from chronic illness without you even realizing it. Finally, think of eating not as a restrictive chore, but as an empowering act. You're not just filling your stomach, you're feeding your body's defense arsenal. With every meal, you have the chance to fortify your resilience, slow down aging processes, and dramatically reduce your risk of illness. So next time you sit down at the table, remember you are designing your health defense with your fork. Choose wisely, and your body will thank you, not just tomorrow, but for years to come. When we talk about the human body's defense systems, most people think of the immune system, the white blood cells rushing to fight infections. And yes, the immune system is a vital defender, but that's only one part of a far larger, more sophisticated network of protections. Imagine 5 powerful armies working together. Your angiogenesis system, which controls blood vessel growth, your regeneration system, which repairs and replaces damaged tissues, your microbiome, the trillions of beneficial bacteria living inside you, your DNA protection system, which prevents cellular damage, and your immune system, which patrols for invaders. Now, here's the fascinating part. The activity of these defense systems isn't fixed. They're not operating at full power all the time, nor are they permanently stuck in low gear. They can be switched on or off by signals, biological triggers that tell them when to act. One of the most powerful sources of these triggers is what you put in your mouth. In other words, the food you eat is not just a passive form of fuel, it's a set of instructions for your body's defenses. Let's take angiogenesis, for example, the process your body uses to grow new blood vessels. Your blood vessels are the highways that deliver oxygen and nutrients to every single cell in your body. In total, you have about 60,000 miles of these vessels, enough to circle the planet twice. Your body is constantly making new ones when you need them, such as to heal a wound and pruning them away when you don't. But if this system gets out of balance, trouble begins. Too many blood vessels can feed diseases like cancer too few, and tissues starve, leading to conditions like chronic wounds or heart disease. Here's where food becomes your ally. Certain foods contain bioactive molecules, naturally occurring chemicals that can help bring your angiogenesis system back into balance. Green tea, for example, contains catechins that can cut off the blood supply to tiny, undetectable tumors, essentially starving them before they have the chance to grow. Tomatoes are rich in lycopene, which can reduce the formation of harmful blood vessels in the prostate and other tissues. Berries, especially blackberries and blueberries, contain anthocyanins that not only fight inflammation, but also fine-tune blood vessel growth to healthy levels. These foods don't act like blunt instruments. They work with surgical precision, activating your defense systems in exactly the ways your body needs. Now, let's look at regeneration. You already know your skin can heal after a cut, but deep inside, your organs are regenerating all the time. Your liver, for example, can replace itself after injury. Your lining of your gut renews itself every few days. Even your brain can grow new cells in certain regions. This regenerative power is driven by stem cells, tiny repair units that can transform into the type of cell your body requires. But stem cells don't work in isolation. They respond to signals in your blood. And again, food provides some of the most powerful of these signals. Take cacao, the raw material for dark chocolate. It's rich in flavonols that can stimulate stem cells in your bone marrow to repair your cardiovascular system. Edamame, which contains soy isoflavonoids, can activate regenerative pathways in blood vessels. Certain seafoods, like salmon, rich in omega-3 fatty acids, can boost the survival and function of stem cells in your brain. By eating these foods regularly, you're not just preventing damage, you're actively encouraging your body to rebuild itself from within. And then there's your microbiome, the collection of bacteria, fungi, and other microbes that live mostly in your gut. Many people still think of bacteria as something bad, but the truth is, your health depends on a thriving, diverse population of beneficial microbes. They help digest food, make vitamins, regulate your immune system, and even influence your mood. They also produce compounds that can strengthen your intestinal barrier and reduce inflammation throughout your body. Fiber-rich foods like lentils, chickpeas, and leafy greens feed these good bacteria. Polyphenol-rich foods like pomegranates and apples also nourish them, helping them produce short-chain fatty acids that calm inflammation and improve blood sugar control. Fermented foods such as kimchi, kefir, and yogurt introduce helpful bacteria directly, diversifying your gut ecosystem. When your microbiome thrives, it acts like a vigilant security team, keeping harmful bacteria and toxins out of your bloodstream and supporting your other defense systems in ways scientists are still discovering. The beauty of all this is that these foods don't just activate one defense. They often work on several at once. Blueberries, for instance, fight harmful blood vessel growth, reduce DNA damage, and support beneficial gut bacteria. Green tea not only balances angiogenesis, but also boosts immune function and DNA repair. This is synergy, different systems reinforcing each other to create a stronger whole. Now think about the reverse. If your diet is heavy in ultra-processed foods, added sugars, and unhealthy fats, you're sending a different set of instructions, ones that can suppress your defenses and give disease the upper hand. Excess sugar can fuel harmful bacteria and weaken your microbiome. Processed meats and certain additives can trigger chronic inflammation, which wears down your immune system and disrupts angiogenesis. Over time, your body's ability to protect itself erodes, leaving you more vulnerable to illness. The takeaway is this: you have more control over your body's defenses than you might imagine, and the control lies in your daily choices. Every time you sit down to eat, you have the chance to either switch on your health defenses or shut them down. This isn't about rigid rules or exotic superfoods. It's about consistently choosing foods that are scientifically shown to activate the systems that keep you healthy. So picture your defense systems as powerful, tireless guardians. They never sleep. They're always scanning for trouble, repairing damage, and keeping dangerous threats in check. And they're listening to every signal you send. With the right diet, you can give them the green light to operate at their best. And when they're at their best, they don't just protect you from illness, they create the conditions for you to live longer, healthier, and with more vitality than you might have thought possible. Every cell in your body is like a tiny computer, constantly receiving, processing, and acting on information. The commands don't come in the form of ones and zeros. They arrive as biochemical signals. And some of the most powerful of these signals are delivered through the food you eat. This is why we can say with confidence that food isn't just fuel, it's information. Every mouthful carries a message that tells your body's systems what to do next. Turn on repair, reduce inflammation, fight harmful cells, or if the wrong foods dominate, trigger damage and dysfunction. Consider inflammation. In small bursts, inflammation is a lifesaver. It's what allows your body to fight infections and heal wounds. But when inflammation becomes chronic, staying switched on for weeks, months, or even years, it silently chips away at your health. Chronic inflammation damages tissues, disrupts hormone balance, and is at the root of many chronic diseases: heart disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's, and certain cancers. Here's where food can change the story. Certain foods contain compounds that actively cool the flames of inflammation. Fatty fish like salmon, sardines, and mackerel deliver omega-3 fatty acids, which can transform into resolvins and protectins, molecules that tell your immune system to stand down once the threat is over. Extra virgin olive oil contains oleocanthal, which works in a way similar to anti-inflammatory medications, but without the side effects. Turmeric, with its golden pigment curcumin, can dial down inflammatory pathways that would otherwise keep your immune system in a state of overdrive. But inflammation is only one signal food can influence. Another powerful target is the process of eliminating harmful or abnormal cells. Your body is equipped with a built-in surveillance system, immune cells that patrol your tissues, scanning for threats. These include bacteria, viruses, and even your own cells that have gone rogue. When they find a problem, they can remove it before it becomes a serious illness. Certain foods can make this surveillance more effective. Green tea catechins, for example, have been shown to boost the activity of natural killer cells, which specialize in targeting and destroying dangerous cells before they multiply. Mushrooms like shinoke and maitake contain beta-glucans that prime the immune system, making it more alert and efficient. Cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, kale, Brussels sprouts, are rich in sulforaphane, which can trigger detox enzymes that neutralize harmful chemicals before they cause DNA damage. And then we have one of the most fascinating connections of all: the relationship between your diet, your gut microbiome, and your overall health. Trillions of microorganisms live inside your intestines, forming a bustling ecosystem. They are like skilled chemists, taking the food you eat and transforming it into molecules that can either protect you or harm you. When you feed these microbes the right foods, fibers from vegetables, fruits, legumes, and whole grains, they produce short-chain fatty acids like butyrate, propionate, and acetate. These substances act like master switches, lowering inflammation, strengthening the gut barrier, and even influencing your immune system's ability to detect threats. They also communicate with your brain, affecting mood, appetite, and cognitive function. But if you feed your microbiome the wrong diet, high in refined sugars, processed meats, and artificial additives, you encourage the growth of harmful bacteria. These can produce toxic byproducts that leak into your bloodstream, fueling inflammation and setting the stage for disease. In other words, your food choices don't just nourish you, they shape the community inside you that in turn shapes your health. Let's also talk about metabolic signaling. Every time you eat, you influence hormones like insulin, glucagon, and leptin. These hormones control how your body stores energy, manages blood sugar, and regulates hunger. When you consume whole, unprocessed foods, especially those rich in fiber, your blood sugar rises slowly and steadily, sending a calm signal to your pancreas and allowing insulin to work efficiently. This balanced signaling helps prevent insulin resistance, a key factor in type 2 diabetes and metabolic syndrome. In contrast, a meal heavy in refined carbohydrates and sugars floods your bloodstream with glucose. This sends an urgent, almost panic signal for insulin release. And over time, your cells can become resistant to its effects. The result, a dangerous cycle of high blood sugar, chronic inflammation, and increased fat storage, all of which can be broken simply by changing the information you send with your fork. Food also speaks to your blood vessel. Certain plant-based compounds, like the flavonoids in dark chocolate and the nitrates in leafy greens, signal the endothelium, the inner lining of your blood vessels, to release nitric oxide. This molecule relaxes blood vessels, improves circulation, and lowers blood pressure. Good circulation means more oxygen and nutrients reach your tissues, and waste products are removed more efficiently. There's another layer to this. Some foods can actually send starvation signals to dangerous cells, like cancer cells. Many tumors are greedy for glucose, so diets rich in low glycemic foods can help keep blood sugar levels stable, denying these cells the fuel they crave. At the same time, foods like soy, certain teas, and berries contain bioactive compounds that interfere with the signals tumors send to grow new blood vessels or evade the immune system. When you think about all these pathways, immune surveillance, inflammation control, metabolic balance, microbiome health, vascular signaling, it becomes clear that food's role goes far beyond calories. Every nutrient, every bioactive compound is like a carefully worded instruction to your body. The cumulative effect of these instructions determines whether your defense systems operate at full capacity or limp along under constant strain. This is why dietary patterns matter more than any single superfood. You could eat blueberries once a week and still undo their benefits with daily doses of processed sugar and unhealthy fats. The key is consistency, sending the right signals at every opportunity so your defense systems remain switched on and coordinated. When you start thinking of your meals in this way, not as restrictions, not as indulgences, but as targeted messages, you gain a new level of control over your health. You're no longer just a passenger in the journey of your body. You're the one programming the route. And the beauty of it is the messages your body loves most come in the form of delicious, colorful, satisfying foods you can enjoy every day. When most people think about eating for health, they picture lists of what they should and shouldn't eat. It often feels like a set of rules written in tiny print, ready to punish you for breaking them. But what if we shifted that perspective entirely? What if eating became not about restriction, but about empowerment? The truth is, every single meal you eat is an opportunity, not an obligation, to strengthen your body's defenses, to fuel vitality, and to reduce the risk of illness before it ever takes root. When you look at food this way, it stops being just something to fill your stomach. Each meal becomes an act of self-care, a vote for the kind of future you want for your body. With every bite, you're shaping your internal environment in ways that can either accelerate the processes of aging and disease or slow them down dramatically. You are, in a very real sense, the architect of your own health defense system. The empowering part is that these changes don't require extreme diets, expensive supplements, or exotic foods from faraway places. The most potent defenders of your health are often everyday ingredients, simple, accessible, and affordable. The spinach in your salad contains lutein that can protect your eyes. The garlic you chop into your sauce is loaded with allicin, a compound with antimicrobial properties. The handful of nuts you snack on is rich in healthy fats that protect your heart and support brain health. And here's the beauty of it. Your body responds quickly. Studies show that positive changes in diet can begin to alter your microbiome in just a matter of days, improve blood vessel function in weeks, and reduce inflammatory markers within months. That means you don't have to wait years to feel the difference. Your defense systems are dynamic and they respond in real time to the signals you send. But empowerment is also about choice. Every meal presents a fork in the road, literally and figuratively. One path may lead to sluggishness, inflammation, and increased vulnerability. The other leads to energy, resilience, and protection. The remarkable thing is, you get to choose the path multiple times a day, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and even snacks. Each is a fresh opportunity to build your defenses. This isn't about perfection, it's about consistency. If you fill most of your days with defense-activating foods, colorful vegetables, fruits, legumes, seafood, whole grains, you're stacking the deck in your favor. A single indulgent dessert won't undo your health if it's surrounded by dozens of meals rich in protective compounds. What matters most is the pattern, not the occasional exception. Food empowerment is also deeply personal. The defense-boosting foods you choose can reflect your tastes, culture, and traditions. If your heritage celebrates lentils, turmeric, and leafy greens, those can be your tools. If your roots are in the Mediterranean, you might lean on olive oil, tomatoes, fish, and herbs. There is no single right way. There are many right ways, all grounded in the same science of supporting the body's natural systems. Think about how this transforms the way you approach the dinner table. Instead of asking, what do I have to give up? You begin asking, what can I add that will make me stronger? That mental shift is liberating. It replaces the heaviness of dietary guilt with the excitement of possibility. When you eat this way consistently, you're not just investing in your future, you're enhancing your present. Defense activating foods improve blood flow, which means more oxygen to your brain, sharper thinking, and steadier energy throughout the day. They calm inflammation, which can reduce aches, pains, and fatigue. They nourish your microbiome, which can improve digestion and even lift your mood. These aren't abstract promises, they're tangible benefits you can feel in your daily life. And here's another empowering truth. Your body doesn't require perfection to thrive. It thrives when you give it steady support. If you miss an opportunity at one meal, the next is a chance to recalibrate. That's the power of a daily repeated choice. You always have another turn to strengthen your defenses. This is why eating becomes more than just nutrition. It becomes an act of agency. We can't control every aspect of our health. We can't always predict when we'll be exposed to viruses, toxins, or stress, but we can control how prepared our body is to face them. Every nutrient, every beneficial compound you consume is like adding another shield to your armor. You may not see these shields, but they're there, circulating in your blood, protecting your cells, supporting your organs. When you sit down to eat, you're not passively consuming whatever happens to be on the plate. You are actively designing the conditions for your own resilience. You're building the internal environment where disease struggles to take hold, where repair is constant, and where vitality has the upper hand. So instead of seeing diet as something that restricts you, see it as something that equips you. You're not giving things up. You're gaining advantages. You're giving your body the green light to heal, to adapt, to defend itself at full strength. And every meal is your chance to say, I'm on my own side. Over time, these choices accumulate like compound interest, just as small investments grow into significant wealth. Small daily acts of nutritional empowerment grow into profound health benefits. Years from now, you'll be living in the body you built with your fork, one that is more capable, more resilient, and more ready for whatever life brings. In the end, food is not simply about eating to live. It's about eating to thrive. And the power to make that happen is quite literally in your hands every day. If you'd like, I can now stitch together all three expanded key points into one continuous polished speech so it flows as if delivered in a single talk. That way it would read like one cohesive presentation instead of three separate parts. Would you like me to prepare that?